Hello again, it's me, Ferry Lekmus, and if you're wondering why I make these videos, and you can excuse, actually, let me do this. It's very dark now, but at least you can see me. The reason I make these videos is because my best friend's life completely changed when he was able to get some cosmetic and orthodontic treatments for his teeth, right? His smile completely changed, he was a lot more confident. I think that did a lot for him, to be honest, when he became more confident. And that's why I make these videos, basically just to help dental practices and dentists just to get more patients. That way they're helping more people who hopefully are similar to my friend. Well, his teeth were terrible. Hopefully they're not that similar, but hopefully the outcome is similar. And in today's video, I actually wanted to look more into this book, right, by Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. But I'm going to make a separate video on the actual 12 rules and how they apply to your life psychologically and other things, right, for the book and how it was actually supposed to be read and how it was actually supposed to be understood. But I want to focus on one rule today and how it applies to your dental practice and how it applies to getting in more patients, okay? Helping more patients as well. And it's rule 8 and rule 10, but I'm going to focus more on rule 8 because it's really powerful once you realize how it can be used to convert those people that are coming in for consultations into booked appointments. So, rule 8 is tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And the reason I want to highlight that rule is because I'm not saying anyone's lying when they're trying to get someone booked in, right, for an appointment after their initial consultation. But it's important to do everything you can do in your power, because what the chapter really talks about is living the truth and not allowing, right, little things, not allowing little lies, not allowing little things that are in your control or things you can stand up to. You don't let them, right, you don't let them go. So what that means is you have a moral obligation to live via the truth and to have people realize the truth along with you. So Jordan Peterson, if you don't know, is really he's done a lot of research, right, obviously critiquing the 20th century, right, totalitarian states. He mostly focused on Stalin in this chapter and how, in a lot of cases, right, even the start of the Bolsheviks revolution, a lot of states and a lot of things happened where people could have stood up, right? People could have at least stood up in some sense and not necessarily revolting again, but standing up to their rights or standing up to whatever went wrong that they needed to stand up to. And Jordan Peterson highlights the fact that in that scenario, right, with Stalin, people never lived via the truth. And not living via the truth makes your life miserable, okay? Not only because you allow tyranny to win, okay? Because if you're lying and the tyranny wants you to lie, right? Because the only thing you have power towards stopping something is doing it with truth, okay? So without starting to waffle on it, because I love this book, I'm going to read it again and again every year, but the way it applies to your book consultations and getting them into booked appointments is the basis that you can't let them go, right? You can't let them go without booking them in if you know they need this treatment, right? I'm going to give a really good example. So a lot of elderly people don't like the idea of implants, right? It scares them slightly, or in a lot of cases, they simply don't know much about it. And there was one case that I heard about where the elderly woman, bless her, she thought you had to maintain it at a ridiculously high standard in the sense that she had to do something every day to maintain her teeth. But obviously, right, it was the doctor in this case, but the dentist told her that what you can do is just come back here every few weeks to make sure everything's okay. So ended up getting rid of that objection, or whatever you want to call it. But the reason I say this is because once that person, okay, stands up off the chair, leaves without booking an appointment, you haven't lived via the truth. And especially again if they need it. Now, what you need to be doing is shifting your mind into this idea that it is your moral obligation, if you can help someone, to help them. When you see someone falling down, right, when someone's fallen down, all their groceries, all the shopping has spilled out, you don't just stand there and look at them, hopefully. 9 times out of 10, you'll go over, you'll help them, right? Because you felt morally obliged to do so. You need to feel morally obliged to help every person that comes in for a consultation and to book them for an appointment. If you have that moral obligation in your mind, right? If you're dedicated to it, there's nothing that's going to stop you booking in every single person. Because no matter what they tell you, you're going to be motivated and you're going to want to come back out of it, right? For example, if they say, oh, I really need to think about it, you'll know how to respond to that. And I'll tell you really quickly how to respond to that in another video. I've actually got it in my LinkedIn as well. But you need to know that it's your responsibility to help these people. They're not going to help themselves. They have 100 reasons not to go forward with the treatment. It's too expensive. They don't have the time. They don't understand much about it, even though you probably told them a lot about it. They're afraid, right, of what might happen to their teeth. They just want a better smile, so they want, the quickest fix. So they might not think they need any crown fits or anything like that. Let's say they just want Invisalign, they just want the straight teeth, but there's other issues they need to go forward with first. People have 1,000 reasons not to go forward with your booked appointment after their consultation. But if it's your moral obligation to do so, to get them from point A to point B, because in that journey their life is going to completely change, right? It shifts the whole consultation. It stops being just a consultation and it becomes you genuinely trying to help someone. If the orthodontist that my friend went to, Collier, right, if he didn't have the moral obligation, if he didn't feel like he needed to help Collier, then he would have just said, yeah, you can just have some braces, do this for, I think it was a year and a half, do this for a year and a half, and you're going to be fine. But he went above and beyond. Not only did he help Collier with the braces, he got him to do all the checkups. He helped him set some stuff up for his teeth later on after the year and a half. He asked him more questions to get Collier more into the idea of wearing braces, because if you're not subconscious already, right, about your teeth, when you're a teenager, you're a lot more subconscious when you're wearing braces, plus your teeth still aren't looking good. So the dentist had to do so much to motivate Collier to move forward. But the point is, again, going back to it, nobody is going to leave the chair without booking an appointment if you're so strong with your conviction that you can help them. And at some point, you can even break it down for them. You can even tell them, all right, I'm going to use the example of the name John. Love using the word John. The name John, sorry. John, listen, I know that you're having doubts about going forward with this treatment. But I can tell you, not only is the expert, but I feel morally obliged to let you know that this is going to get you exactly what you want, John. Right? You haven't been able to eat properly without pain for the last 2 years, John, and you're not as confident with your smile as you told me. These implants, John, are going to fix all of that. And again, not only am I confident that they'll fix it, but I know I need to get you to book the appointment, John, for your life to completely change. So are you okay with moving forward with this? What's John going to say? John's not going to be like, nah. John has seen you, right, literally speak with so much conviction and have so much, I don't want to use the word conviction again, have so much emphasis on how his life is going to change. He's not just going to stand up and leave, right? If I saw someone speak to me truly for something I believe that they believed was true or something that they believed was right, I'm not going to just ignore it. We can't ignore it, right? Going up to the extreme example, the reason so many people in his speeches, right, not in the whole context, in his speeches, the reason so many people were riled up after Hitler spoke is because the guy spoke with so much conviction as to what he was saying and what he believed. You can convince anyone with that level of conviction of anything, really. So you need to be prepared to speak with that level of conviction. Hopefully not the same message, but that level of conviction, right? You need to be ready to have every person that sits down in your chair coming in for the consultation. You need to be ready to think, okay, I've done the diagnosis, right? I've checked what they need. I've told them what they need. They're going through with this. I know they need it. they are going through with this. And I'm not going to stop until they go through with this. I know there's a time limit on the consultations, right? Whether they're 45 minutes, an hour, those are the two most common ones I've seen. You need to spend at least 5-10 minutes at the end talking over any doubts they have, right? And talking over anything they need. But the point is, they can't leave that chair without you having told them and having expressed your confidence in yourself, in your team, and in them needing the treatment. So that's the point of Rule 8, right, in this book. Fantastic book. If you can read it, go read it, by the way. It's amazing, not just for the way you can relate it to loads of different things in life, but it's generally just an amazing book. Rule 8 explicitly states that it's worse to just let something happen that could have been in your control than to often tell a lie that leads to something bad happening. When that person walks out your chair, you've just let them continue, not ruin, but they haven't improved their life in any way. You've let John leave with missing teeth. He's going to continue eating with pain, not being able to chew properly. He's not going to be able to smile as much as he wants with his grandchildren. You've done that to John. It's not John that did that to himself. You can't blame John. He has his doubts. It's you who didn't speak enough conviction to John. It's you who weren't able to convince John. And now, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. I was being serious then. I've just sneezed. But then John leaves and nothing has changed. And you could have changed John's life. I'm telling you now, the most important thing you can do for getting your conversion rate up from consultation to booked appointment is having that level of conviction. It's having the mindset that it's your moral obligation to help these people, because it is. Alright, enough drama. So that was my kind of ability to relate Rule 8, which is tell the truth, or at least don't lie, from John Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. And there's just so much in this book that is gold. I'm going to make so many more videos on it, but running off the video, I wanted to thank you for watching it. I hope it's changed your mind in some way, or at least enlightened you about the moral obligation that you do have. And that moral obligation allows you to have the 100% conversion rate from, consultation to booked appointment. It's going to allow you to convince anyone that sits in your chair to go forward with the treatment that they so desperately need. Okay? Okay. Awesome. So I wanted to basically do a little plug as well. So if you can take on more booked appointments, I'm thinking 100 or so in the next 60 to 90 days, then I've got a link in the description. It is basically a video in my website of me trying to sell you something, right, to get more booked appointments. But just thought I'd be transparent and let you know, if you can handle more booked appointments, click it. You've got no obligation to do so. You've got no obligation to buy if you do book a call, but there you go, a little plug in. If you did enjoy the video, hopefully it was quite heavy hitting, that was the point of it, then pop me a thumbs up. That means you liked it. You can pop me a thumbs down if you didn't. I don't mind at all. Leave me a comment about what you liked and what you think I could do with the next video, right? And if so, leave a comment, and hopefully you can subscribe if you're wanting more videos like this. You can check out my other ones just to see kind of the variation that I do. It's not just going to always be heavy hitting stuff on the rules for life. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have a great day, evening, night, great weekend, great rest of the week, wherever you are. I hope you have a blessed day and take care.